is better known as the Pride Month. We are getting ready to dust off our rainbow flags, douse ourselves in glitter, and go join in this month long celebration. With parades, festivals, and concerts going on across the globe, Yayawa decided to hold this special episode of Reminiscing. We welcome our special guests, Raga Olga De Silva, co founder and director of Speaking Minds, and also an eminent author of the book The Untold Lies, along with Cynthia Roli Gupta, a filmmaker, director video with Times Group, whose debut short film Hum Shakal Khwab is winning hearts. Let's sit on the rainbow and slide into this special episode.
I'm very delighted to welcome Raga Olga De Silva, co-founder and director of Speaking Minds and an author. With her, we have young, vivacious Cynthia Roli Gupta, a filmmaker, video director with the Times Internet Group.
Hey, I'm also young.
We are teenagers. She's a teenager ke baad wala chal raha uska face. Thank you. So today we will be talking about our first crush. That is the crush with our debut work. Yeah. So today we'll be talking about Raga's debut book, Untold Lies. I love the poems a lot. I just open it and go through a poem. And we'll talk about Cynthia's debut film, Hum Shakal Khwab, and much more behind the screen. So we will be talking about love today. You both know what I'm going to talk about it. She's a filmmaker and you're an author. And I'm sure we somewhere are very emotional and we talk about love and our passion. Why this happens sometimes that whenever we are in love, or in love with a passion, love with our dreams, love with a particular person, which is not going in accordance to the societal norms, we become so judgmental about ourselves. We become so fearful what will happen and we start judging ourselves. We hide that emotion so much, even to ourselves, that we are scared even in the darkness of night to talk about that emotion and face that emotion face to face. So in your debut book, Untold Lies, Raga, I mean, how this Untold Lies happened? Like, I must say, I was really drawn to the cover. So I would like to know, because it's a journey, it's more of a realistic fiction, I would say, that also has an author sprinkled all over, author's life also sprinkled all over. How did this happen?
See, first of all, I think we're talking multiple things, right? When you introduced, you're talking about love, you're talking about labels, you're talking about judgment, you're talking about social
conditioning. Right now, I'm talking about love. Why do we label our love? Why do we judge our love?
So first of all, I think we need to understand love before we talk about labeling and judging, right? What is love? Love to me is a feeling, it's an emotion that is just yours. It is personal, it is to you, and that is it. When you know Laila Majnu, for instance, Laila Majnu, someone said to Majnu, he said that, is this the woman you are obsessed about? Is this the woman you are going to give up the entire life world for? But she is so ordinary. Like, what do you see in her? And he turns around and he says to that person, he says, you have to look at her from my eyes. And that is love. To me, that is love. When we talk about the society kind of love, it's very transactional love. I have an image of love and I will say I will fall in love with, like Mills and Boons, tall, dark and handsome. These are transactions. So through our life, we look for the tall, dark and handsome or beautiful in terms of what beauty means to the world. For me, love is not that. Love is when two people meet, there's something happens, there's chemistry, there is something happens. And that is love. That is it. Now, whether your family understands, society understands, the world understands, doesn't understand, that doesn't matter. That is love. That person may be short, thin, fat, big, ageless, whatever. That is not love. That is transaction. This is love. To me, that is love.
So how this Untold Lies happened?
See, Untold Lies has been in my, it's part of me, right? It's been around for a long, long time. So my Untold Lies is about basically a little girl's journey of getting away from labels. That labels are given to us right from the time we are born. Somebody will call you selfish, somebody will call you fearful, somebody will give you these negative labels, or somebody will call you beautiful, you just called. So my book is about that our life is basically full of labels, and are the instances in our lives, whatever big stories that happen in our life, experiences, they become part of that label. I will go through a really bad domestic violence, for example, that you must have read in my book, and I got labeled, oh, what a shameful person, how embarrassing, label kar diya. She's a victim of domestic abuse, label kar diya. Then somebody has betrayed my love and my trust, and then we get labels saying, oh my God, there must be something wrong with this woman, that is why he left her. So throughout our life, our journeys, we get labeled by ourselves and by people around us, and we believe that label. So my story, my Untold Lies is about that. Get rid of the labels that people give you, forget it, unlearn the learnings, because that's not your truth. Your truth only you know. It took me a long time to understand that, unlearn that, and that's where Untold Lies came from. And I think it has been received well, not just by young girls. I mean, I've got 9-year-old is my youngest reader, by the way. Then, by young women of a certain age, men have loved the book. Men have cried reading the book.
What is so beautiful in your book is when we talk about stories, you write a chapter, then you leave that chapter. Like, the chapter is carrying on, yet then it carries on with different kind of poems. And then you understand this, and then the next chapter comes. That is something very beautiful. Like, I was totally shaken while reading your book about that part where the mother was there with a knife. And the way you explained it, there was so much of chaos in that silent night. But it was all about mother and children. It was all about love.
Yeah.
But yet, the different perspective of it and
Correct.
different reactions to it.
Correct.
So, did this actually happen with you, or it is?
Yes, when I came out to my mother, let's say, but I didn't physically come out to her, something she saw, and then she said, oh my God, you are interested in somebody from the same sex. And she couldn't digest it. Because we're talking about 18, 20 years ago. Things have changed now. And Indian woman, married and separated, mother of 2 children, there's a certain kind of expectation from you. I write, I say that, yes, it was that night was about mothers and their children. Because she was protecting me, I was protecting her. That book got a lot of negative feedback for my mother. That really happened. She stood over me that night with a knife saying that, Khatam kar dete hain yaar isko. Finish it off. I would rather that you are dead than live in a society with so much stigma. How will you live? How will you bring up your children? And all real questions, right? They're not, as a mother, I'm protective towards my children. If they come to me with something which I don't understand and I fear for my child, then I will try and protect. But my mother was extreme at that time. Of course, she later, accepted that fact and we became friends and we made peace. But this is so true. When we love each other, we're talking about love here. When we love people, we force our perceptions and our judgments on them. कि मेरे लिए ठीक नहीं है तो तुम्हारे लिए भी ठीक नहीं होगा.
बिल्कुल. Especially under the banner of motherhood.
Yeah, and fair enough. They absolutely react from fear. That's all it is. डर से हम लोग बहुत डरते हैं.
हमें सिखाया ये जाता है, डर बहुत ज्यादा सिखाया जाता है शुरू से ही. Like that time it was so difficult and you were brave enough to come out, because that really needed lot of guts to do that, to accept yourself. So I have a question for Cynthia. Cynthia, your debut film Hum Shakal Khwab, how this name came to you, Hum Shakal Khwab?
So Hum Shakal Khwab, literally translated into English, is identical dreams. Basically, the name came because everybody dreams has one common dream. Everybody in the world, I don't think there is one person in the world who doesn't have this dream that I want to love and be loved. And it was the same between these 2 protagonists in my film.
Meera
the 2 ladies,
and Inayat.
Meera and Inayat, they love each other. And they have the same dream that everybody else does. It's an identical dream, which is why Hum Shakal Khwab, that's how it came about.
Because the moment you hear the name, it's a very different name, Hamshakal Khwab never comes to you. So Cynthia, like we were talking to Raga, what was your experience during the college? Like, it was open about, people were yet still open to talk about it. And they were, your parents were okay to take them the way they are and the way the choices they make.
So when I was in college, towards the end of college is when I made this short film. I was in a crowd of people which was very open and very progressive, not only about gender issues, but in general, they were really hungry minds. Like I was in the middle of 200 people from all over India, like from every state of India. And we used to have very open political, gender, cultural, and discussion on history and all of that, which is why I was in a crowd where it was a really open mind and people were very accepting towards. I mean, if somebody referred to, so you were in a film course and we used to watch a lot of films, and if a heroine came on screen and somebody said, yaar ye काफी hot the yaar, उस time पे लोग ये heroine कितनी hot है, and if a girl said that, the other girl would just react like, यार चलो ठीक है, इतनी भी hot नहीं है, आजकल की heroine भी इतनी hot है, मतलब heroine है तो hot होना पड़ेगा. Now if you have that kind of a conversation in people with somebody of the same gender, and you're having a conversation about it, and nobody is like batting an eyelid, or nobody's judging कि ऐसा statement कैसे मारी है. It showed me a new world where people understand that we are humans and we have emotions, and this is how we want to lead our lives, understanding love, understanding emotions. And there it was easier for us to discuss things like we should be more open and accepting towards people of all preferences and people with all sorts of views and opinions in the world.
Cynthia, I love what you just said. I have to say this. I just loved what she said, because this is the difference between Cynthia's generation and my generation. Okay, this is what I have to highlight. If I had said the same thing, let's say I'm watching a movie even now with a group of my peers, my age group. We are watching a movie. I make a comment about a heroine on screen and say, "Kya dikhti hai," whatever, right? My peers will turn around and say, "Raga, क्या बात करें क्या उससे तेरे लिए, क्या तू इसको तो छोड़ यार, तेरी तो कोई है ना लाइफ में." So instantly it is sexualized. Instantly there is this whole thing like तुझे इसमें interest है. Not thinking I'm making a comment, general comment. When somebody is beautiful or handsome, you express it.
Now, Raga, when I was reading your book, one thing was very beautiful, that how you were making the statements of and making it understand in a very, very different manner. Like, I took a very big example, like, when you said something, when you do, you just can't undo. Till it passes. Now, this is a very common statement, we use it. But it left an imprint on me with your example that if you have had 8 shots of tequila and you are tipsy, so now you can't undo and you are heady, so let that headiness pass on. So you have to accept that, fine, I've done it, I've drunk it, I've made the choice, now I have to give some time for this storm to settle down.
Exactly.
And then move on. So something that was like very beautifully written. It was like when you started writing, then the poems came, or you used to even write poems before that?
I've written all my life, Nupur. I've written all my life. I've never published it. Whether it's poetry, whether it is prose, it is stories, right? And people ask me, how do you write? I actually have, how do I say this without sounding, conceited? I've never written. It's like a bimari. Like if I'm sitting now here talking to you, suddenly the words will come to me and I have to write. It comes to me. I don't think, I've never ever thought and said, kya likhu aaj? Should I write this subject and write the poem? The words come to me. They express themselves through me and I write it. So interestingly, for Storyums, the idea was that I would write a storybook, a book of short stories, and I write a book of poems. That was the idea. But somehow I thought that if I write a story and then they transit into poems and then they are stories, it has different meaning to it. My publisher said nobody's going to buy the book. कोई नहीं पढ़ता, poetry भी नहीं पढ़ता, short stories नहीं पढ़ता, and then you're combining the two, nobody's going to buy your book. Maybe 5 people will buy, your best friends will buy. We had wonderful every and they supported me through this. Chalo, we'll experiment. So all through my life, ever since I was in school, I've always experimented. I've never wanted to be part of the herd. Naturally वो था कि अगर आप सीधे जा रहे हो तो मैं टेढ़ा जाऊंगी, वो naturally था. So even when I wrote, I said I'm not doing this for money, I'm not doing this for fame, I'm doing it because it's me. I finally said to myself, I'm going to live my truth. If I don't live my truth and therefore express it in the way that I understand, फिर मुझे क्या फायदा? I didn't write it for you, right, Nupur? For my audience, I wrote it for me. So selfish. Normally people write it for the audience. Now I write for the audience.
All your poems are very simple. I mean, very lucrative language, and it just flows. आपको वो दोबारा शेक्सपियर स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ना नहीं पड़ता to understand. You just read a line and it just keeps imbibing. That's something very beautiful, I mean, in your book.
Everyday person, ordinary person with ordinary words, reaching all of us who are extraordinary. That is what I would say. Because ज़रूरी है कि we are able to, the way I speak, we should be able to express that in a prose or poetry. Because that's the audience anyway. We understand this.
I agree, but पहले क्या होता था जब poetry prose लिखना, it has to be a little heavy.
Sure.
अभी भी है, but let me tell you, now people connect with such kind of poetry also beautifully because it just gets it.
Sure.
In very little, you say a lot.
Sure.
So that art you have.
Thank you.
That's for sure. And I loved everything reading about it. Going back to Cynthia. Cynthia, in your film, हमशक्ल ख्वाब, बहुत सुंदर गाना है. किसी को मोहब्बत है तो क्यों? है मोहब्बत में इतनी बेताबियां क्यों? फिर क्यों दिल को सकून भी मोहब्बत से ही आता है?
It's an A.R. Rahman song, so it has to be.
हाँ, it has to be. So very beautiful. So while I was watching your film, when Inaya takes a break from Meera to understand herself better, to understand her choices better, and somewhere she doubts also her choice because staying away in past few days there was a confusion, because she just wanted to do that. Do you think nowadays in your times of college, you just passed out in 2017-18, if I'm not wrong, so it's not very far off. So do you think during that time also there was a time when a girl or a boy is talking to you and saying, I am yet not very sure, or I need to understand myself better, or I want to give it a try? Like there was some kind of a confusion to understand themselves from this perspective?
See, I think that when you like somebody a lot, especially when it's a homosexual relationship, you are very sure of your love. You are not confused about love itself. What you're, especially if you're, you've gone to the other person and you've said that I like you and I want to be in a relationship with you. Your confusion, even today, still comes from the fact that how difficult is it going to be, or how abnormal is it going to be for us to be in a relationship together in public or in private. So I think confusion ज़्यादा वो होता है, confusion इस बारे में नहीं होता है कि
मुझे प्यार
है कि नहीं, या मुझे ये इसको आगे लेके जाना है कि नहीं. I think आज भी homosexual relationships, although conversation बहुत बड़ी है and बहुत acceptability आजकल आ गई है, but it is still people are still taking baby steps to come forward and come out. So when you go and tell somebody that I love you and I want to be with you, or I like you and I want to be with you, or I want to give this a try, chances that the person is pretty much sure about I want to be with this person.
What do you think from the parents' side? Like, I see women of my age, I'm going to be 50 soon. So it's like, we have started accepting it and we have started respecting it more, understanding it from a deeper depth. So there's been a shift in general of the understanding and the acceptance of relationships.
I think that even 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I entered college, the conversation around homosexuality and the LGBTQ in general was not as widespread as it is today. So even in the last 6 years, I think there has been a major change when it comes to being able to have open conversations about the subject with my parents and with the older generation, and even making it a normal part of everyday conversation. There is definitely a shift in that, and I do think that parents these days would perhaps not react as extremely as they used to 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. So I think rapidly that change is coming across, and parents are more accepting, or at least it is easier to help them understand why I love somebody of the same gender.
It's like if you're into this relationship, there would be a lot of PDA, public display of affection. वैसा नहीं होता, वैसा even heteros में भी नहीं होता. It's not this you're with your boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're going to do this, but I don't know, they had this लग तो नहीं रहा, अच्छा लग तो रहा है, इकट्ठे हैं. But so what they're going to supposed to do? I mean it's fine.
Exactly. I mean, see, relationships are not about PDA, right? Relationships are about an affectionate expression, and when two people have that connection, that expression comes across naturally.
True.
And it's a beautiful thing. And like you said, if parents were in acceptance, that is how slowly a lot of people, the raised eyebrows kind of reduced.
Obviously.
And the reactions reduced.
Because everybody looks for some spicy talk. So when the parents say it's fine with us, so you just get a okay, fine. It's a family matter.
That's the biggest acceptance.
Yeah, that's the biggest acceptance.
Right.
I mean, so that's wonderful. Coming back to you, Raga. In your book, when you talk about gratitude and loyalty, you link it with Bruno. And I mean, it's like so beautiful when I see that how a little girl is okay to be down with fever because she gets a chance to sleep and hug her mother, to sleep with her mother all night and give her a tight hug. Even now, when you close your eyes and you feel that breath, it's like that fragrance that tells you you're safe. I'm always there with you and will always be with you. So this shows somewhere down the line, you had a very beautiful relationship with your mom. At the same time, that act of that deadly night, and then this emotion of that little girl inside all of us who wants to be down with fever for a longer time to be able to do that. So, I mean, how do you feel that? Do you still feel that closeness with?
Absolutely. See, what my relationship with my mother was magical. I have to say that I had the best relationship. In fact, when she passed away 6 years ago, but whenever I met her,
you have mentioned her as with a magic wand.
Yeah, she was beautiful. My father passed away when I was very little, 6 years old. So my mother brought us up. So the relationship I share was different. In fact, most nights, her and I would sit and she would have a glass of Old Monk and I would have my drink. And that was, we were very, very close. There was nothing we didn't share. So her reaction was based on what she understood from her own conservative upbringing and background.
True.
She was not going to do anything, but that was a reaction. So, but because we came from the background that we came from, at that time we didn't have anything. Nupur. My father had passed. We lived in a very small home, one bed, which we would share. Mother would work all day, come back very late at night. So that little time that I got with her growing up, that I used to absolutely hold on to. I still remember the smell of her, and that's what I hold on to. Yeah, and that's what I think for all of us. We love our mothers, right? Sabke liye, that's one person in this world who is absolutely the most important person. It's our mother. I'm sure others have others in their life, but mother is one common thing. And we all hold on to our mothers in the best way we can. I hold on to the breath of her every day. I pray to God and I have closed my eyes and my mother is with me. I always say she lives in me and I am a part of her and she's a part of me. I think that our parents play a huge role in, I was on a panel recently, Cynthia, I must say, and Chitra Palekar, Amol Palekar's wife from the theatre, and so she made a very interesting statement. So their daughter came up to them when she was in Melbourne. She also is in the same gender relationship. And she was scared to tell her mother. And her mother said to her, listen, if I don't give you support and love you unconditionally, who else will? To me, that was the biggest statement I'd heard, because as one person you expect unconditional love. If my children came and said this to me, or said to me something about an instance where I was not, I was opposed to it, but I would love them unconditionally, because kahan jayenge? Maa ke paas nahi jayenge to hum kahan jayenge? That is one thing. And Cynthia also taking, I think I love what Cynthia is doing. So young. Cynthia, you're almost as old as my children, I must say that. And I'm so happy to see this new generation, because what she's doing through her filmmaking and narrative, what I'm doing, our generation is doing, it's all changing. When we watched Bollywood films, right, earlier, we used to be the homosexuals, or the gay community was ridiculed, and they were there as fillers. किसी को time pass करना है film में, तो they put that in. So people ridiculed, people judged you. So that's how society then looked at you. Now things are getting serious. Ayushman's film एक लड़की को देखा, making it mainstream. So when you make these stories mainstream, naturally the audience is going.
Kapoor and Sons.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. But there's always, even Kapoor and Sons, the first thing was कि opposition है, then acceptance है ना? एक लड़की को देखा भी पहले opposition है, acceptance
opposition है, then acceptance है, because वो suddenly समझ नहीं आता how to react. शादी होना चाहिए, चाहे वो बेवकूफ पति हो, बने नहीं बने, या vice versa, पत्नी से ना बने.
But stories like ours, why did I come out with my story? When Shobha Dey did that interview with me, why did I get hundreds of thousands of views? Because stories like us give people the opportunity to say कि ठीक है, if two men, two women in a relationship, they are just like us, normal people. I brought up 2 children. Nicola and I brought up 2 children who are 22. We've been together 13 years. We have the same problem. हमारी भी light चली जाती है, हमारा भी खाना जलता है, हम लोगों को भी, mortgage देना पड़ता है,
The debut film was made on crowdfunding.
Yes, it was a crowdfunded film. I didn't have the money for it, and my college wasn't paying us the money to make the film.
So this shows how many people actually accepted this idiom. See, crowdfunding people would have come forward to fund it. So this, as it is, shows that it is so beautiful.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad that before that, I don't think I had seen any film, feature or short about homosexuality or homosexual relationship in the mainstream. And I was so glad that I got that kind of a response when I put out a video explaining the story. And there were people who came forward to fund the film, and they were just people around me, people I knew, and people who had known me for what I want to do in life, even if they were not very close to me, and they came forward and they helped the story. And that was very surprising, and I'm very thankful that they did that.
No, that talks a lot. Raga, I can see these 2 nosepins you're wearing and a beautiful poem you wrote on 2 nosepins.
My 2 nosepins, these 2, 1 stud, 1 ring. So much of me to life they bring. The stud gives me the stamp of life. The ring helps me like the double-edged knife. Now you must think, what can a nosepin do? Think about it. 1 with 2 pins, only a few. What does it say when you have 2 instead of 1? Maybe it has no meaning. Perhaps it's just fun. Perhaps it's a discovery of a journey that has been. 1 person, 2 worlds. 1 seen, 1 half unseen. These nosepins carry a tale of 2. One says what it does, the other lets it brew. The one with the stamp, it leaves its mark. The one with the ring brings light when dark. That's the story of my 2 nosepins. They are a collection of my multiple sins.
Your 2 nosepins, and then your another poem, 2 a.m.'s love, 3 a.m.'s love for 2 a.m. So beautifully you have mentioned about your children as ragalets. I love this term. Poetoriums and then the ragalets. So in your poems, many times you've used Spanish words.
Have I?
Few of them are very Spanish and have carries a lot of meaning. I thought you know the language.
No, not at all.
Okay. So for you, this whole book is like a soul theory. The soul's journey, and this also reflects that you are very spiritual in nature and you connect to it beautifully. Like when I was reading that, that scene when the protagonist meets somebody in the dance floor, the brown eyes meets the blue eyes,
Yes.
and she gets drawn towards her, but then she realizes that she's already committed and she has to go back. I would like to read something. मुद्दत हुई है बिछड़े हुए अपने आप से, तुम्हें देखा तो हम याद आ गए.
वाह.
So it was like मैंने जब वो पढ़ा तुम्हारा, मुझे यही शेर दिमाग में आया. Not that मैं लिखती हूँ कि actually sometimes when you meet somebody, that someone is a mirror to you.
Yes.
That mirror that shows you your soul, that shows you your stark truth. And I think in your story also, that was the time when the little young girl realized, yes, I am attracted somewhere, So that's so beautifully, you have mentioned that soul theory. So when did the spiritualism started? Do you practice something?
I must tell you about my soul theory. Yeah. Again, everything for me has started when I was 5 or 6 years old. Meri life
Okay.
Good. Before that, I don't remember. After that, I always 6 years old with a little bit of experience. So I remember sitting in my chota house you see that photograph, the front page. There, I was sitting there. We had curtains. रात को मैं बैठी हुई हूँ, छोटी हूँ. I still remember at 6 years old. Maybe my father has just passed. Maybe I was 6.5, 7 years old. This actually soul theory came to me. तभी मुझे साइंस नहीं पता था, physics I didn't know, I still don't know. I failed in maths so that officially I can declare many times. But it was like I felt like जैसे universe had broken, and each part of the universe, जो छोटे-छोटे pieces होते हैं, Big Bang theory what we call, that it goes into everybody's bodies through our life. मेरे पास एक soul का piece है, बड़ा piece है. And through our life, I believed, even at that time, that I am constantly going to connect with the pieces of my soul, which are in everybody's body. मतलब वो भगवान ने डाल दिया, वो universe ने डाल दिया. So you have a big piece of my soul. The relationships we have, we fall in love. So we fall in love with a big piece of our soul, and it's absolutely all-consuming. Absolutely सब कुछ होता है वो. And then suddenly, few years later, we realized कि this was big enough, but इससे भी बड़ा है. Sometimes you meet people on the street and they just smile at you. Sometimes nobody even looks at you. Why do they smile at you? Maybe एक छोटा सा piece उनके अंदर चला गया. So I believe that through our life we keep getting connected with the pieces of our soul. Airplane में बैठे हो, taxi में जा रहे हो, mall में बैठे हो. Why are these people there? Why is everybody not connected to you? And our connection with each other, Nupur, you and I, Cynthia meeting Cynthia, I really believe we have all got this pieces of our soul together. मेरे भी बहुत बचा है अभी connect करना. And Nupur, one other thing here is that spirituality is not something that happens overnight, or it's not something that you said, no, when did it start? It doesn't start. It is you. Either it is you or it is not you. Our life experiences teach us to whatever flow or not flow. मैं religious भी हूँ थोड़ी, बहुत थोड़ी, which means that I pray to God, but I am kind and compassionate to everybody, and that comes from my spirituality. No matter how much you will hurt me, I will continue to be this person because that's my choice.
I totally understand. But spirituality में क्या होता है? Like I would say, I started understanding spirituality when I entered this Serenity Surrender therapy. That is the time when I started understanding myself in a deeper manner. Sure. Earlier I was living. So that's the time when you start understanding why you're attracting certain kind of things in your life or attracted, and you get the answers of a lot of things which is maybe beyond logic, beyond everything. You just believe it, So
yeah, sure. See, Nupur, for us, we've had to experience stuff to live this life, and I can assure you, for Cynthia and her generation, because my children are of a similar generation, it's like they have been born into this. So
yes.
Their thought process, their thinking, their connection with their own soul is so spiritual anyway. Look at the movie she's made at such a young age, right? To me, that is an old soul. What we are again labeling old soul.
Yes.
Spiritual beings.
True. I totally agree to this. And you're very much right. I have a daughter going to be 22. in next few days. So it's like that. I mean, when I talk to her, the kind of maturity and acceptance they have
Yes.
towards life and people in general,
Yes.
we did not have that. Like, they're much more evolved than what we were, or what we are even. Like,
Absolutely. I agree.
I mean, it's like that. So they're very non-judgmental. They would accept you the way you are.
I feel like I'm sure that even when you were of my age, because you are so close to childhood, I think all of us are born with that kind of a clean slate, and it is the way we grow up that we develop our perceptions and our shapes of how we are supposed to think, and this is how these are the walls within which I'm supposed to think. So I feel like, I mean, everybody is born with a clean slate, and the way you grow up and what you see around you, and that is what shapes you, and that is what leads you to believe whether or not you are a spiritual person. But I feel like, I think everybody is born the way they are, and that's just how it's just that I'm privileged enough to be born at a time where there is so much openness about discussing so many things that I have different layers of understandings to build my own perceptions on. That's all I feel. I feel like everybody's born with that clean slate.
So it's like that. So Cynthia is also a spiritual person. Cynthia, when we talk about karmas and we talk about soul theory, we talk about our soul connections. Definitely, when we talk about soul, we talk about it without the gender, the form, the formless, and we talk about the form. So when the same gender gets attracted to each other, do you think, Cynthia, they carry some kind of a karma?
When we say karma, I think it's very important to understand firstly what karma is, because there is one very simplistic definition that is in general floats around in the world, that karma is what you have done, the same thing will happen to you. I feel like karma needs to be defined better. Karma, in my understanding, is your reaction to what is happening to you. And perhaps in the past, whether it is, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or for those who believe in past lifetimes or a past incarnation, a reaction to what I would have experienced in the past, and how that reaction gets formed in my mind is a perception in my mind, and how that plays out through me in my interaction and in my experiences today is what karma is. It is that one perception. So I feel like wherever we have strong experiences that we have not completely gone through, or we have not completed living, they play out in whatever experiences we attract, be it relationships, be it our job, be it our family, be it the kind of life trajectory or career trajectory that we're having. So of course karma has a part to play in the kind of relationships that we attract and the kind of choices that we are inclined towards.
That way, karma has a part to play to choose your partner, whether it's hetero or anything like.
Absolutely.
True. So during this lockdown, you have worked on this lockdown anthology, if I'm not wrong.
Right. Yes.
Right, and
I have
film Full Stop.
Yes. In April, I was contacted by my mentor in Bombay. He was producing an anthology of short films. He got 10 filmmakers together from all over India and subsequently all over the world. I was one of them, and we wrote films such that we could either shoot ourselves or get somebody to shoot it on their own and process it. Basically a film that is completely made in lockdown. So I did make a film called Full Stop. It's between 5 and 9 minutes. I wrote a story between two people who are living together, and I got two people who are living in Australia in one house to shoot it. And that's how I made a film as part of this anthology called Lockdown Shorts, which has
So
9
it will
other
be
films.
released on which platform?
We are still looking for a platform, and hopefully I can give you that update soon.
Okay. So, but I have been watching a couple of your films, short films on social issues, on on the laborers who are migrating laborers, and on Corona. And what was that your personal project or you were working with?
So for Times Internet, I make videos. I work as a video producer, director, and then also an anchor there. And what I do for Times is, I mean, we make videos more than films. What we do is we make videos, and that comes under my purview of my work for Times. The kind of issues that we decide to give voice to are social in nature. Yes.
Raga, when I was reading your poems, Whiskey, Tea and Me, I mean, it's like so beautiful. और मेरे को ना आपकी जितनी भी लिखावट है, I connect with myself so much because on my Facebook screen वो जो पीछे लिखा हुआ आता है, उसमें भी मैंने ये लिखा है कि I am nobody's cup of tea, you know. So I mean, this is something very beautiful. I am not everyone's cup of tea, nor anyone's cup of coffee. I am not anyone's glass of lassi, and not everyone loves me. The way you write it down is like so beautiful. The poems which are very dear to my heart is Her and I. Can I request you, Raga, to just read it out for us?
She stayed with me all night, bringing with her the much needed light. Loved me, soothed me, played with my hair. So much loving, so much care. Then when it was time for her to go, she held me closer, even more. Said she would come back for me another day. I let her go. I had nothing to say.
Very good.
I know you understand. Us.
And us.
Us. In the growing up and in growing, somehow I missed knowing. And the us of us never grew. One day suddenly you went away, just as I was nearly becoming you in our way. Now I am you. So people go, people leave us, we don't understand, and we have to let them go, and then suddenly we realize it's okay. That person is in us anyway.
It happens sometimes when you speak your truth. And you find people who have been preaching this of being open-minded, and when they come closer to our truth and understand our truth, they suddenly become very close-minded.
Yes.
All the openness just vanishes. All that they have been preaching and teaching just fades away, and it's like they just shut the door. They cannot relate to your truth. और उससे पहले ये होता है, I am there to take everything.
Theory or practical में फर्क होता है.
So you also had such friends in your friend circle, and they just after that was just like they cannot connect with it. Or I feel they just go away because they started connecting it too much.
Yeah. I mean, it is truly everything is not everybody's cup of tea or coffee or whiskey. Truly, right? As we evolve doesn't mean people evolve with us. That is important to know. And बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं, अरे टेंशन मत लो, मैं हूँ ना. सबसे बड़ा टेंशन वहीं पे होता है. The moment somebody says ना मैं हूँ ना, or somebody says don't worry, मैं से सबसे ज्यादा worry करती हूँ. मुझे पता है कि this person is going to be the biggest disappointment. तो मेरे लिए ये सब red alerts है, red flags. So you know, but the best thing to live life, and maybe it is because I'm of a certain age now, is to have zero expectation. One thing I always say, people disappoint me, but because people disappoint you because we have an expectation. So I have gotten out of that whole drama and trauma of expectation. मुझे तो अभी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I am the happiest I've ever been, and I will ever be, because मुझे आप करो तो अच्छा है, नहीं करो तो बहुत अच्छा है.
Great. That sounds cool. How are your children? And they took it very beautifully, the way they.
Took it का क्या होता है? This if I have issue, I should get a conversation with them. You know, took it क्या होता है? It's like saying like.
I take it back. I take my words back.
No, you don't have to. But a lot of people ask me that. For them, this is the most natural thing in their life. They were brought up by mom and dad, and then mom and dad separated, and then mom and mom came in. Dad is also very much around in their life. So उनकी तो lottery लग गई ना. They suddenly have 3 people who love them
all
unconditionally
around them.
ना. तो उनकी तो lottery है. They always say कि हमारा तो lottery है. So they are beautiful. They can't even understand these conversations. Why do we have to have these conversations? Because this is just normal for them. They don't know any better.
Very true. So anything else you're writing right now, Raghav?
Well, so I got commissioned to write a story by a very, very well-known award-winning filmmaker. And I'll tell you who it is. And the story got accepted, which is adapted from my film. Not from his own. It was adapted from my life. So there are aspects of my life, and I've created a beautiful love story, which even I fell in love with. I want to meet that woman someday. But
मुझको भी पढ़नी है वो.
तो वो book हो रही है पहले. तो film last night we signed the deal. Basically, we went through. So I wrote that story. It went through hundreds of drafts, as you can imagine. And Onir has bought the rights, and he signed me up. So Onir, as you know,
so beautiful.
That calls for whiskey and scotch on the rocks.
Bilkul.
We did
Thank
a
you.
party.
Yes. So basically, he's doing a press release to the media today, Onir, and so that's big news for me. So that's happened. So in lockdown, I did create it. Thank you. So thank you.
Amazing.
So I'm so pleased. It's like taking the story mainstream and completely different because it's about two women, adult love, mature love. You will never see anything like this on screen. You would never have seen anything like this.
I'm already looking forward to this. And so you have a meeting and a press release today?
Yeah.
All the best for your new book, Raga.
Thank
All
you.
the best, Cynthia, for your film, Full Stop, and many more your way. Thank you for joining us at Reminiscing. Thank you so much. And thumbs up to the Pride Month.